Good evening, welcome back to Hux Media and welcome to a compilation video. This video compiles all 3 parts of the How Did TV Channels Start series. And with this intro said, let's just get started. Enjoy. In British life, one thing we take for advantage is television, whether it be the main 5 channels, the hundreds of new channels brought with digital TV that now everyone has access to, or channels that no longer exist. All of them have a beginning. In this video, just in time that E4 Extra has launched, let's have a look at the very first transmission of some of Britain's most and least successful channels. Of course, the first channel to come in mind is BBC One, but that started all the way back in 1936, and is impossible to get access to the first programme ever shown on the one to start it all. So how about we skip all the way to 1955, to BBC's main competitor, ITV, and see how they started.
Commercial television is here.
Tonight, 7:15, September 22nd, 1955. We add another sentence to the long history of London. Studios, staff and technical equipment have all been assembled. A new public service is about to be launched over the rooftops of old London. It is our desire and hope in these last dwindling minutes before we pass into the exacting domain of public life, that in the years to come, we may preserve one of the proudest boasts of England, the rights of free speech, fair play, our own particular brand of decency and tolerance, our own particular brand of humour and common sense. 0 hour is on us. Here, high above the heart of old London, we salute you. Ready the OB vans at Guildhall? Ready the vision mixers, sound mixers, cameramen, directors? Ready all those who have made this possible? Ready our friends, you citizens of London? Wish us Godspeed. Over to Guildhall. Good luck all. Here we go. Take it, Master Control.
Starting a second channel on television would have been hard for ITV, as before there was only one. Do you think that independent television succeeded in capturing viewers' attention, as before all they've watched was the BBC? Another note to add that this was the first time an advert aired on British TV. But next, let's fast forward to 1964. This is the rather unfortunate launch of BBC Two.
Excuse me, just like Channel 1. Hello? Unlike Channel 1, there's nobody there. Some tape handed to me now. Widespread electricity failures reported in London tonight. The power failure halted underground trains. Let's try again. Hello? Yes, I can. Mm-hmm. You're right, you are. Right. Goodbye. As you can imagine, there's a good deal of rushing about going on behind the scenes. The London power failure halted underground trains on the central line between Northolt and West Ruislip. So if anyone's not home yet, perhaps that accounts for it. BBC Television Centre, Shepherd's Bush, blacked out 25 minutes before the scheduled start of BBC Two's first programme at 7:20. Well, something has started. That is all for the moment. Later on, we hope, and there's no reason why from Alexandra Palace we shouldn't be able to keep this appointment, we hope to show you a longer news programme, including a first look at the newly arrived Australian cricketers in action. For the time being... Excuse me. Yes? Right. Yes. We are going to repeat this news summary in 1 minute.
Now what's going on here? Well, at the time of BBC Two's launch, a power outage across West London was caused by a fire at Battersea Power Station. This is why normal programming could not air on the BBC's second channel, and why it was just news headlines being read out. You will know this if you've watched my History of Channel 4 video, but in 1982, the aforementioned was launched. The first ident to be shown was one of the first computer-generated idents. The first show to be aired on 4 was Countdown.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be able to say to you, welcome to Channel 4.
Hello, good evening, and as the countdown to a brand new channel ends, a brand new countdown begins.
The fifth channel, which you can probably guess was called Channel 5, began on Easter Sunday of 1997 with this test card looking graphic and a song by the Spice Girls. After that was a segment where Julia Bradbury and Tim Vine advertised what the channel has to offer. Of course, this would definitely be the most colourful era for branding on 5.
Welcome, it's 6 o'clock on Sunday, March the 30th, and this is 5.
It's a power of 5. Welcome to a brand new station. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tune in now for a new generation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guaranteed to be the new sensation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who said? Spice Girls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take it from us. It's girl power. Take it from us. It's a power of 5. It's a power of 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a power of 5. Wicked shows for you to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tunes and sport and movies free. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the TV that you've ever wanted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who said? Spice Girls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take it from us. It's girl power. Take it from us. It's a power of 5. It's a power of 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you, the fabulous Spice Girls, for recording that song exclusively for us. And thank you for joining us on this historic occasion.
Hello, yes, this is 5, and she's Julia Bradbury.
And he's Tim Vine. Well, after years of promising, months of speculation, and literally
Minutes.
years of planning, here we are.
Now, we've covered how the main 5 channels were introduced to television, but why stop there? Let's see how the BBC introduced their first digital exclusive channels, BBC Choice and BBC Knowledge. Both channels' launches started with a digital countdown and then an ident, followed by an introduction programme. I'm going to show the first broadcast on both channels respectively.
Hello and welcome to BBC Choice, and this is where it all starts, the brand new digital channel from the BBC.
Welcome to the newest digital channel on the BBC, and remember, knowledge is power.
30 years ago, I walked on the moon. And after 5.5 years of training, for a mission that would last only 8 days, we have liftoff. I finally got the chance to fulfill my dream.
One giant leap for mankind.
Education is the means of developing our greatest abilities.
Beautiful view. Isn't that something?
Because in each of us, there is a private hope and a dream, which if fulfilled would make a difference to the world around us.
Right away, Houston.
Welcome to BBC Knowledge.
In August of 2000, it was announced that BBC Choice would come to an end and would be replaced by BBC 3. In 2002, Choice's memorable 3-block idents were suddenly replaced by a setting of what looks like a construction site, and eventually led to a countdown. But what happened when the countdown ended? Well, the final day of BBC Choice was promotion for what was to come, and that obviously would end up being BBC 3. The launch night was aired on, well, BBC 3 and also a simulcast on BBC 2.
Good evening and welcome to BBC Three. It's launch night and let me tell you, it is big and it is clever. And who better to let you in on it than one Mr. Johnny Vaughan?
3 is a magic number. Yes, it is. That's a magic number.
Good evening and welcome to BBC Three. This is the live launch of a free-to-air station dedicated to the very best in British talent and bringing you music, comedy, arts, entertainment, science, current affairs, and after 9 o'clock, strong language that might offend some viewers. You can find us, or rather, you have found us, on satellite channel 160, Freeview channel 7, or somewhere on cable, who knows where. A few of you I know are also watching on BBC Two in a simulcast that will end at 9 o'clock. A big hello to you. And also, a big hello to anyone watching in the 5,000 homes that generate all the national viewing statistics. Please feel free to turn over to BBC Three, remove the batches from the remote, invite 50 neighbours to join you round your main set, log them in, and let's really see how much heat the system can take. Let's give it the flat knacker, as they say in Australia when they're behind the wheel of a mind-numbingly large lorry. Enough of that. We got a great lineup for you tonight. So great, in fact, that when you see it, I'm sure millions of you will suspect that the powers that be have cynically stacked the first night with fancy one-offs to lure you in under false pretences. Could I just say that is simply not the case. What you will see between now and midnight is a typical night, an exact taster of the programmes you can see on BBC Three every night of the week. Here's a sample of what's on offer. I've seen this already, and I can assure you that it's not only very well edited, it also gives you a true flavour of the channel. Enjoy it.
Good Lord, it's enormous.
It is huge, isn't it?
Hello. Step forward, please.
BBC Three.
3 is a magic number. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. That's a magic number.
Similarly, BBC Knowledge came to an end in 2002 after a short lifespan of 3 years on digital television. And of course, what would replace it would be BBC 4. At 7 PM on the 2nd of March 2002, BBC Knowledge would wave goodbye as we saw its identity for the last time before the new brand settled in.
That's it for us tonight. As you've heard, an exciting beginning for a brand new channel is only hours away. BBC 4 starts this evening at 7 o'clock. We look forward to what's to come, but from all of us here at BBC Knowledge, it's good night and goodbye.
This is BBC 4. Good evening and welcome to the launch of Britain's newest channel, devoted to culture, music, documentaries, performance and world cinema. Your place to think.
The first BBC 4 idents were made so the visuals matched up with the music, and were used up to 2005. We're going to move on from BBC now, and as I did ITV last time, and we have truly moved into the age of digital, next I think we'll cover the launch of ITV2. ITV only ever had one analogue channel, so a chance to create a second station for ITV would come in the rise of digital, so late 90s. ITV2 launched on the 7th of December 1998.
10,
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4,
3,
2,
1. It Takes Two and ITV2 is on the air. It takes two, baby.
as in the song It Takes Two, and I'm the half that's Gabby Yorith.
And I'm Vinnie Jones, Gabby's other half.
Strictly for the purposes of this programme, you understand. Anyway, you're watching It Takes Two, and that means you're in at the start of something very special.
And that is not a threat, that is a promise. And it don't take two to make it.
Calm down, Vin, calm down.
Relax, babe. I'm acting, it's my new career, remember?
Yeah, of course. Well, excuse me if I have my very own dramatic moment. Welcome, everyone, to a new channel, a new look, and new programmes as ITV2 hits your screens.
Gabby, please don't talk about it and people who know got my reputation to think of.
Oh, sorry, perhaps I better change the subject to something a little bit safer. Maybe cookery. Yeah, cookery.
Hey?
Well, if you're wondering what's on the show's menu, excuse me while I slip into Delia Smith mode and reveal some essential ingredients. You see, this programme is an irresistible mix of seasoned ITV viewing favourites. Add a soupçon of celebrities, a dash of exclusive looks behind the scenes, stir well with a seasonal selection of brand new shows that you can only see on ITV2.
Then simmer and serve up with a dish of fresh sport and action. All this is making me feel hungry again.
Well, let's satisfy your appetite, Vinnie, with some tasty ITV2 tidbits.
And now the last channel we'll go over today from this era will be E4, Channel 4's digital channel created for youth. In 2001, pieces of promotion aired for a new channel on 4. On the 18th of January, the channel finally launched, hosted by none other than Ali G.
Easy now. As we all know, the news, documentaries and nature programs ruin normal telly. That is why Channel 4 has invented a new station called E4, which they say is going to have none of that crap on, and be even better than Channel 5. I don't think so.
The first channel I want to focus on today is BBC News. It was launched on the 9th of November 1997 as BBC News 24, and overnight would air on BBC One.
This is BBC One. Now we join the brand new channel for reports and events from around the world, every night, every week. BBC News 24.
And we welcome our viewers on BBC One. It's 1:56, the headlines.
After this launch night, BBC News would air on its own digital network. Now let's move to BBC's main competitor once more. We've done ITV1 and 2, so in today's video let's do ITV3 and 4. ITV3, the independent television's second digital exclusive channel, launched on the 1st of November 2004. Albeit after some promos for the channel, with a rather simple countdown leading to an ident.
Welcome to the latest member of our family. This is ITV3, your home for classic drama, quality movies and the best crime thrillers like Frost, Morse, Midsummer Murders and more. And we kick off tonight with brand new drama from Ian Rankin. John Hannah hits the streets of Edinburgh in the UK television premiere, Rebus.
Exactly 1 year later, on the 1st November 2005, a new channel from ITV would launch, ITV4. Well, not launch per se, as replace an already existing channel, ITV HD. On the launch night, it took an ever more similar approach with the countdown graphic and a piece of continuity to greet the viewer into the new network.
A place of pain and rapture.
Yes!
Elation, subjugation, fear, and ecstasy. Positive indifference. Devastating optimism. ITV4 launch night.
Now let's move over to the final network for today's video, Channel 4. In this series we've done Channel 4 itself, the sister channel E4, and now why not do the next channel to come from the network, More 4, which launched like this on the 10th of October 2005.
Get your adult entertainment from 4 right here, right now. Welcome to More 4. Incisive news every night at 8. The first programme in a few minutes. But first up, a preview of coming excitements. You're watching More 4.
Now, what can we take from all these new launches? Well, it seems that as the 2000s came and digital television channels became easier to make, the launch of a new channel wasn't anywhere as exciting as it was before the millennium, or before digital. So, that brings us to the end of this video. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you tune in next time. As always, I've been Hux Media, wishing you all a good night. Good night.